As the days passed after learning about Laura's infidelity, I struggled with a whirlwind of emotions, disbelief, heartbreak, and a profound sense of betrayal. The timing of this revelation, just before our planned romantic getaway, added an extra layer of pain to an already difficult situation. The unexpected intervention of my old friend, now working in Laura's office, introduced an element of surrealism to the unfolding drama. His message, initially seeming odd, turned out to be a lifeline. Learning about Laura's frequent meetings with her boss, Larry, and the rumors circulating about the nature of those encounters left me reeling. I expressed my gratitude to my friend for divulging this painful truth, and he, in turn, expressed sincere regret for the situation I found myself in. Despite the desire to confront Laura immediately, a mix of shock and emotional turmoil left me paralyzed, uncertain about how to initiate such a difficult conversation. Instead, I opted to maintain a facade of normalcy, playing it cool while concealing the storm of emotions within. Every interaction with Laura during this time felt like a balancing act, requiring tremendous strength to mask the internal turmoil. The waiting game became a challenging period of introspection as I grappled with the conflicting emotions of love, hurt, and anger. Finding the right words to address the betrayal and summoning the strength to face the impending confrontation became an intricate dance between my shattered emotions and the need for a measured response. The journey toward resolution seemed both distant and daunting as I navigated the uncharted territory of a relationship in crisis. As I grapple with the shocking reality of Laura's betrayal, I sought solace from my father, who advised me to confront her immediately. However, in the midst of my suffering, a dark thought crept in, a desire for her to feel the pain I was enduring. My father urged me not to succumb to darkness, but his well-intentioned advice seemed to propel me further into it. I decided that she needed to suffer as I was suffering. The idea crystallized in my mind, sent her on the planned vacation alone, and stayed behind to pack up and leave. The plan was set into motion, and I waited patiently for the day of our vacation. At the airport, I insisted on carrying both our carry-on bags, including the one with her personal items and money. To her, it probably seemed like me being a helpful husband. When it was time to board, I let her go ahead, claiming I needed to call my mom for last-minute instructions about our cats. Unbeknownst to her, I watched as she boarded the plane without me. In the waiting area, the staff announced my name and I approached them, claiming I had missed my flight. I arranged to be on the next one. She was stuck on the plane flying toward paradise alone. The adrenaline rush was intense, a surge of power in a situation where I felt powerless. Back home, I began packing, and when she landed, she called me frantic and worried. Assuring her I'd be on the next flight, I encouraged her to relax until I got there. The hours passed, and she called again, anxious about my proximity. I fed her misinformation about delays. By evening, she was in a panic, stuck in a hotel room, bored and hungry. I promised to wire her money for food and suggested she enjoy a good meal and take a walk on the beach. I kept up the charade until it was night, assuring her I'd arrive sometime during the night. As she went to sleep expecting me, I had no intention of joining her. The next day, I continued the facade, answering her calls with excuses. I wired small amounts for food, but nothing more. By midday of day 2, I had packed everything and stopped responding to her calls and texts. This caused immense distress. Her family and even the police got involved, searching for me at the airport and coming to the house. I didn't answer the door, and eventually, I stopped responding altogether. I know it sounds horrible, and I apologize to my parents for not taking my dad's advice, but I believed Laura needed to suffer for hurting me so deeply. In her distress, she wasn't in any danger, just stuck in a difficult situation, not of her choosing. Going through this ordeal was like being caught in a whirlwind of emotions, and I found myself taking drastic steps to deal with the betrayal. When my dad suggested involving the police to stop the search for me, I hesitated but eventually made the call. The officer seemed amused at my bizarre situation but maintained professionalism, assuring me he had to confirm my safety. Packing up my life into the car and pulling it out into the driveway marked a turning point. Laura's sister arrived, bewildered by the sight of my packed belongings. I had to break the news to her about Laura and Larry, and despite her initial anger about the vacation situation, she could see the profound impact it had on me. I asked her to wait a moment while I broke the news to Laura first. The call to Laura was both nerve-wracking and liberating. In a rehearsed monologue, I dropped the bomb about knowing about her affair, filing for divorce, and never wanting to see her again. Abruptly ending the call, I shut off my phone, leaving her in tears and confusion. Laura's sister, with tears in her eyes, offered me a hug and an apology before leaving. I can only imagine the shock Laura must have felt. Cutting off all communication, I remained steadfast in my decision. It may seem extreme, but I couldn't let her betrayal go unanswered. In a way, it felt like a form of poetic justice. Trading our life for a fleeting affair meant she had to experience true loneliness. But the story doesn't end there. I discovered that Larry, her boss, was also married. Taking matters into my own hands, I reached out to his wife, exposing the affair. This led to their divorce and even cost Larry his job when I reported everything to his supervisor. Shortly after, Laura lost her job too. As the chaos settled, an unexpected call came my way. Another person who had heard about my unconventional response reached out, a man who had been through a similar betrayal. We met for coffee, sharing our experiences and finding an odd sense of therapeutic solace in our mutual heartaches. In an unexpected twist, a new and supportive friendship emerged from the wreckage. Life has a funny way of working out, and as Annan and I supported each other through the aftermath of our divorces, our connection deepened. Despite the unconventional circumstances that brought us together, we discovered commonalities beyond our shared struggles. Our friendship evolved into something more, and it felt natural and right, a testament to the mysterious workings of the universe. While Laura struggled to rebuild her life, facing job loss and the challenges of living with her parents, I heard snippets of her difficulties through the grapevine. It was evident that the life she ended up with wasn't the one she envisioned when she chose a fleeting affair over our marriage. Larry, too, faced consequences for his actions, finding himself in a far cry from the high-powered career he once had. As Anand and I continued to grow closer, our friendship transformed into love. Despite the caution born from past betrayals, we decided to take a vacation together. It was during this trip that we realized we were truly in love and ready to embark on a new chapter together. Fast forward to today, Annan and I are happily married, grateful for the second chance we found in each other. As for Laura and Larry, I've chosen not to dwell on their lives post-divorce. They made their choices, and now they have to live with the consequences. The moral of this story is that life throws curveballs, and adapting and moving forward is essential. Heartache may seem insurmountable, but with time, support, and perhaps a bit of well-timed revenge, happiness can be found again. Love, it seems, can emerge from the most unexpected places. Looking back, I don't know if I would have done anything differently. The path I took, though unconventional, led me to a place of happiness and love. As for the future with Anand, only time will tell, but we're committed to building a beautiful life together and cherish the second chance we've been given. Life truly has a way of coming full circle, and sometimes the most unexpected journeys lead to the most fulfilling destinations.